Good evening, and welcome young men and young ladies to hiring and retaining African American male teachers. Good evening. And again, we will have the program, we'll follow the program as it's written, and of course we can deviate from that. But we also want you to know that the pictures that you see here, there is a picture right there. Dr. Spencer represents everything that he is, and thank God he took out his time to come to join us. This is a seminar, which means you will be able to communicate and able to converse and able to go back and forth. We'll talk some more about that. And thank God for the people who came, who did not have to come, and we're going to hear some more about that. I'm kind of hungry, so we're trying to get to the food, but we're waiting on my daughter's sister to bring have vegetables, which you need the meat. But while we're doing that, we have no other than Miss Jean Bonner. I have people that are surrounded, that I'm surrounded by, that are just King and Sharp, and that's why Dr. Spencer, I can't help but be King and Sharp, because they are, as you can see. Ms. Bonner is my coordinator. She stays on me. I am writing a book. I just got my chapter 3 approved on yesterday. I saw in the email I got my chapter 3 approved. Thank God. Didn't we, Sharice? And we'll talk more about that. Ms. Bonner will give us our welcome. That is the coordinator.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to the head table, Dr. Spencer, to our guests, and to all who have gathered here today to celebrate and help us to support Dr. Berry on her effort as writing a book on hiring and retaining African American male teachers. What a great sound. Sounds good. Sounds wonderful. And young men, that's why we have you here today. We want to welcome you here because you are our future. You are the next teachers, you are the next leaders, you are the next inventors. And we want to open up the door to you so you can have the opportunity, just as well as anyone else, to let you know that there are things available now. Don't wait until you get 18. Start now planning your future. And we would like to welcome you. Sit back and relax and enjoy, ask questions. Go and visit our different vendors who have come out to support you and give you advice on your future. This is not about us right now, young men, it's about you. And we want you to know that we are here to support you. Again, I say welcome to all and welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Bonner. Now the purpose. This thing started about really before I was born, actually. Living in the household I lived in was very difficult. I am, as they used to call a long time ago, a dysfunctional family, as they used to call us, an at-risk kid, they used to call us, because my father literally beat us, let's say every other night. And I can say this now because my two children are here. That's PJ Berry. Berry Senior. And I had a hard time trying to tell them this because they love their grandfather, and I explained to them they're supposed to, he's deceased now, love their grandfather because they loved him. So I had a hard time trying to get this, that he beat their grandmother and their mother, and yet they're supposed to love him. But they did, because during that time, I guess that's the only way he had a second grade education. So the only way I guess he could express himself, and he was an alcoholic. And that's why I asked my kids, and we prayed, we watched that, because remember, alcoholism is inherited. So you gotta be very careful. So no excuses, but it is what it is. However, I had a praying mother, and that midst of being beaten, both of us, she would pray, and I couldn't understand that. We're getting beat to death, and you praying? That didn't sound right. But I didn't understand. That's why I want you to understand. She was praying for right here. She was praying for now. And see, it worked. Because I was something else. Yeah. But I was something else because, and that's why I want you to know, I was fighting my dad by fighting other people. See, you're not fighting other people or angry at other people. You're mad at something that's in your house. But you have to learn that you have to pray through that. So you fight them with this. They can't take that. It didn't even matter. They couldn't take the 4 degrees. You know, the dignity and all of it, try to say, but my mother, I thought she would be there, but it was a little cold. She's 80 and she's still a tough cookie. She still runs that household, right? And so she wanted me to make sure that I was able to give my children a better education. And their father, I thought he would be here, Colonel Barry, he was awesome. He's the greatest father. So that's what she put in place for me. So I say that because don't let anything stop you, because it would try to. So I'm from a battered home. Anything you can name, but here my kids. Because my brother, who went to Vietnam because he ran away from home. He's a boy and he couldn't handle it, he ran away from home. And when he went to the Army, back then, and you can't do that now, I don't think. You can't get a GED in the Army now, can you?
National Guard you can.
But not Army.
Not Army, not
But you used to.
Used to.
Yeah, well, he's 57, so you know how so blessed thing. But he ran away and got a GED in the Army, and he just retired last year, 28 years, not from the Army, but from civil service, so he did well for the GED. But no one can be worried about that either, because if you got a GED, you still, there's a mayor in Petersburg that had a GED, I believe, I don't want to say that wrong. Yes, didn't she start off as a GED? Yes, so what I'm saying, don't let anything discourage you, because get the GED and let it work for you. I say in my class, where is one of my students?
Human growth.
There you go. I said in my class, if you have to get welfare, get it. But let it work for you. If you got to get social service, get it. But let it work for you. So let it work for you, whatever you have to do. Let it work for you. So when you go to school, put your pants up, someone say, you don't need your pants all down. Let that work for you, because I bet you, if you start pulling your pants up and you're the leader, everybody else is going to do it too.
Amen.
Look at his pants up. That must be the style again. So be a leader. Be a leader. And nothing's going to ever be perfect. Believe me. But that's when we fall down, we get up. That's why we have these people. And it's so much that I can say, but I would like to, I've been saying this because I had fallen down, and this gentleman picked me up, because even when you get older, at my age, I had had enough. And I went someplace where the Lord just said, Dr. Spencer. So it's all, the Lord always has someone right there for you. And I found a family where I am, and I ain't trying to leave, I'm sorry. I ain't leaving, I'm like that little cat. But it's funny too as you grow older, so it's not anything that, oh, woe is she. Hi, honey, thank you for coming. It's no thing, woe is she. I'm okay. And my babies are okay. So, and they have done wonderful, my few little babies done wonderful. So, you know, they kind of get a little, you know, hurt about it. Mommy is fine, and their grandma sure is fine. She does nothing. She hasn't worked in 20 years. She hasn't worked in 20 years, so she's sure. She was smart. She set it up so she won't have to work no more. Smart lady. So when we got this program, I couldn't do a lot with it because I became a principal. Of course, you know, being a principal, had to do these schools and had to get these schools AYP and accredited and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't have time. But Mrs. Spencer was often tells me that she said, "You want to do something else, don't you?" I said, "Mrs. Spencer, I really do. I really do. But it's a lot I have to do." But God works in mysterious ways. Because when I left Russell, it killed me. It killed me to leave Russell. It killed me to leave Petersburg from where I was, from Westview and from Peabody. But it just took me back to leave Russell. But it was all for my good. I was able to do things that I see how we ask the Lord for something and don't know, you know, and He put it there for us. I was still able to stay nice because it worry Him to death. At the same time, and still live well, thank you, Dr. Special. Still did well, so it didn't hurt me, it helped me. I thank God for you, it helped me. It helped me to do this book that I want to do, and it helped me get you here, so we're going to have some teachers out here. We already have Flip is going to school for a teacher already.
Go ahead, Beth.
He started off talking about he gonna be what you kept telling me you gonna be? Whatever it was, he stayed with me long enough then to be a teacher. And of course, my son is a teacher, so you gotta practice what you preach. So that's how this program came about. But I didn't want anybody to misunderstand hiring and retaining African American male teachers. Because I get this now. Is that a private Caucasian? Is that a racial statement? And I go, no, because I got Father Lagoli, I got Ms. Van Winkle, I got anybody who wants to help me, help you, I'm in for that. It's not a race. We need teachers to go into those in the classroom and to be in those schools standing like Dr. Watson, standing in the hall like Dr. Spencer and them, so they can see you can still be cool, real cool, and yet you can still be a man and then make it happen and drive your BMWs and your Beamers and Dr. Spencer came in one time with that Hummer and all that kind of stuff. But you can still do that, guys. You can still be cool. So it's important that you become a teacher so you can help others along the way. Help others and help others so you can they can help themselves. Dr. Ronnie Watson thought he wasn't going to get a doctorate under me. I'm so sorry. Dr. Watson, would you stand, please? He was my assistant principal. And he said, I don't want a doctor. Yeah, right. I don't want that doctor. You had it right. He is Dr. Ronnie Watson because as Dr. Spencer does with us, you have to grow under me. You have to grow. You know, so, and he has, and now he's a principal. So that's the way it goes. Okay, so that's how this all got started. As you can see, we met with the ministers and Brownsville County ministers, Reverend Stewart, and your wife and family. That's my family. You know, you guys are just down here on the spot, as my mama said. And thank you so much. And so that's kind of how the program started. But you gotta wait for the book. And like I say, chapter 3, we just found out we were talking about sharing it, but we thought we would wait for Dr. Lewis. Maybe he's playing interest, but everybody knows Dr. Lewis. But Dr. Lewis has a lot of titles. The main title is he's on Petersburg School Board, and he's my lawyer. No, you'll be hearing more. You'll be hearing more from him in a few because he's going to do some introductions himself. So that's how I got started, but you have to wait for the book. But chapter 3, I was saying, we found out that it was approved, I think Thursday. I'm with Xavier Publishing Company, but we thought we would not share that because I can tell you this, chapter 3 was about Dr. Spencer. I can't wait for it yet. It was about a superintendent that allowed me the autonomy to do the unknown, the unthinkable, and allow me to do that without threatening me. Without threatening me. It's like you'll have a job that just won't be here. But he didn't say you won't have a job. And that's amazing. You have, that's the kind of superintendent I will be, without the threatening. And that's what happened at Russell Middle School. He stepped back and said, you want to do that? You sure? Okay, show me the data. Of course, you have to stay there about 30 hours. You know, show me the data, show me how it works. Dr. Barry, don't start no stuff. Just tell me how you're going to work it. Blah, 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 blah. Now, you know if it doesn't work, what's going to happen, right? Yes, sir. Okay, I'm just telling you. It's not like you were to work. I'm just telling you. And it worked for the first time. Because you have to know who's in the trenches. And the same way my teachers I have with them. It better work. If you bring me something, you want it, you can get it, but it's sure it better work. So that's just about a superintendent that I would like to be that has no fright of his job to say, okay, you're there, make it happen. So we'll hear more from him. But now I want to talk about some of these young guys that are teachers. Dr. Watson will come to you, and I probably told you half the story. Dr. Watson will come to you 2 or 3 minutes to tell you about how he was in the military. From the military, he became a teacher. From a teacher, he became Dr. Berry's assistant. And from Dr. Berry's assistant, he is now principal at the middle school.
Thank you, Pull them up, young man. I'm going to start off. I wanted to say a little something about Dr. Berry and the way we came to have a relationship. And let me say this. Her mother, I always call her Mama Berry, and I know she's not Berry, but you know, we go with it. Her mother told me that at the age of 12, Dr. Berry, you know, she did like to fight, you know. But she told me once, I sat there and I was waiting, Dr. Berry gave me some paperwork, or she was sending me on a mission to do some work and get some scores. And I was waiting at her house and I was talking with her mom. Her mom said at the age of 12 or 13, she was having some problems with her fighting. However, she put that energy to use by going to a little restaurant. And she became a waitress at 12 or 13 somewhere in Texas.
Yes.
And they said she was one of the hardest, what was the name of that restaurant?
Oak Ridge, she made me wash dishes.
Oak Ridge. So one of the things, and the reason I brought that up was one of the things that we have to do with our young people and ourselves is develop a work ethic. And that work ethic starts young. They need to watch people, or we need to have them raking the yard, or we need to have a paper route. We have to be industrious because the work ethic does not happen overnight. And once you get into a professional job, and Dr. Spencer, Dr. Lewis, Dr. Berry will tell you, those 14, 15 hours a day are not easy. And in order to get one of those jobs, you have to have that work ethic before that. So young people, think about that and start today. Now, Dr. Berry talks a lot about mentors, and at least two of my mentors are here today. Herself, of course, and Dr. Lewis was one of my instructors in the doctoral program. And, you know, you don't have to talk to your mentor every day. However, they watch you at every occasion that they get an opportunity. I see some of my young men from my school today watching me, you know, and I'm watching them, you know, but the thing we have to set our expectations for them, we have to set high expectations for them, like have been set for us. And we have to set high expectations. They have to have a work ethic and so on. Now, Dr. Berry asked me to tell you a little bit about my career and how I got to where I am. Let me say this. I started off in the Army. In the Army, I was an airborne ranger. I used to jump from the sky, live in the jungles and woods of Panama. And I think I've eaten everything that has walked or crawled. And it was a great opportunity for me, being in the Army. But one day, after about 4 years, sleeping in 30 below zero weather, and then being in the deserts of the Mojave, 110 degrees, hot, I said, I don't think I can do this forever. You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know, maybe I do after 4 years of this, 20 miles a day, doing the 100-mile road marches at the 10th Mountain Division of New York. I said, let me get myself another goal. And I said, maybe I want to wear a suit and tie. So then I came out and became a teacher. As I became a teacher, the teachers don't make a lot of money. So I had to get a second job. So I became a supervisor at United Parcel Service, one of the top 10 countries, one of the top 10 companies in the country at the time. Now, I had two jobs. You wake up in the morning about 7, go to work, you go all day, and then about 10 at night to 4 in the morning, I work at UPS. So I still did a pretty good job as a teacher. However, I decided that I needed my master's at that time. So I went and got my master's and still worked at night and still worked in the day. It's a hard road. My car broke down, and kids, let me say this to you. We have lots of excuses for the things we don't do. When my car broke down, and UPS has a non-negotiable policy, you cannot be late. Okay, if you're late 3 times, find yourself another job. Okay, so When my car broke down, I'm in Petersburg. Petersburg is about 23 miles from Richmond, or at least the Willis Road exit. I said, you know what? I am not going to quit this job. I'm going to go to the thrift shop and bought myself a bicycle. So every day in the summer, I ride that bicycle from Petersburg to UPS and get there on time. So, you know, when we say, oh, I can't get to class on time, or I couldn't do my homework last night, do it on the bus in the morning. Stay up late at night. There are no excuses for failure, but they are reasons for success. So, now I'm moving on. I became a teacher and I finally got an opportunity. I graduated in 2004 with my master's, and I needed a job as an administrator in order to continue on with my career. So I interviewed for assistant principal. Now, let me see, politics is a messy job sometimes, and I cannot go into the politics. However, I figured, you know, I've been a pretty good teacher and a team leader, so I shouldn't have any problems getting that job as assistant principal. However, things didn't work out like I had planned. I went to the interview, and one of the things I'm hearing in the back is that, well, he works too much. Remember, I have two jobs. He can't come to the function, because he works at night. We probably don't want a person like that. But on that council, on that panel, Virginia Berry was on that panel, and she said, you know what, I'm going to give this young guy a chance. And she gave me an opportunity, and I always will be beholden to her, just like she was with Dr. Spencer. And we have to give those opportunities in order to get those opportunities. But there started my career.
Excuse me, let me say, you gave, as Dr. Spencer, you gave yourself that opportunity.
You open the window for me and I get it. So, just remember, the opportunities are there for you. I'm going to give out opportunities to the young men I see in this room and to the young women. We're not going to forget about you. And just remember, you have to give opportunities as well. So, with that, let me say thank you.
I am so proud of him. And as he says, it's just like Dr. Spencer. You give him an opportunity, that's what I do. He doesn't roll like that. You give someone an opportunity, but you have to get in a position so they can give you an opportunity. As he says, he said at that interview, I just knew the other lady was going to take him. I was kind of a little nervous because he blew it away. But I was like, thank you, Jesus. They'll give it to me because we ran at Levi Middle School. And you heard Levi Middle School, it was a white piece of, and it did go from 40 to 70 in 1 year, right? So it's good to give folks opportunity, but put yourself in a position to be given more. See, folks can't help you if you don't help yourself. So that's what we're here today, to put yourself in a position so when someone says your name, oh sure, oh they can do it. And that's what always does to me. What about that? Oh, she can do it. You think I can do anything? She can do it. So you have to put yourself in a position for that. Okay, now we will have, Mr. Jefferson could not make it, as you know, he was at the other function. We have this Mr. Maurice Berry, Jr., the teacher in AFL. I'm going to tell you some more about AFL, and it's just going to be frightening to tell about his life of putting a mask on. That's my brother.
Good evening, how you doing? As my mother said, I am her son. You look like my dad, trust me, this is my father. You understand. I came here, I was like, Mom, what do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to speak about? Yes, I'm a teacher. You want me to speak about education? You want me to speak about behavior problems? She's like, honestly, speak about your life because I did go through childhood tribulations through my whole life. And you see my mother, those who work under her and are students and work students, know she's kind of crazy. So everybody, all my friends, man, how did you do it? Your dad's a colonel, your mom's a principal, now she's school board office. You know, I know you have to wake up at 5 o'clock every morning, fix your bed, so normally fix your bed, that's before off the bed. No, like, I have a cool mom, I have a cool dad, but again, I did go through things, and so when we talk about the trials and tribulations I've been through to get to where I am now, because trust me, young man, like, I'm not perfect at all. You see professional football players, you see your teachers, you see your principal, they had to go through things, people had to give them opportunities. So, to get to where I was, I had to go through I'm not gonna say a long road, but a road. And start from high school. Of course, as my sister, she has to as well. I had a 3-2, cumulative GPA. UVA came to see me. I was an all-state football player and all-regional baseball player in baseball and football. And Virginia State came, New York State came, and I just didn't really talk to them. All I knew was UVA, D1. I want to go to the league, and so it's like, you're great. And, the accolades are wonderful, but all you need is a 920 SATs are there. The scholarships. I took my official visit, one of my official visits to UVA. My mom enjoyed it, I enjoyed it, my father did. I said, Mom, we go here. We see him come out the tunnel, 90,000 fans in the stands. Like, yes, I want to be here. Never 920, make it 920, nothing, got it. So, my mom told me, my father told me, prepare for it. He said, prepare for anything you want to do, prepare your football, and practice, right? Yeah. But you have to practice, don't do it. Like, you can practice, you do drills, but like 9:20, I'm 3-2. Good. So wake up early in the morning, go to the SATs, take it, got it. Come back, 8:50? 8:50, right? Take it. Next morning, and she knows this. She probably would say it, she knows it. She had to go on vacation, my father and her had to go on vacation somewhere. And they was like, don't forget your SAT, don't forget your SAT. I'm good. Don't forget. Well, I forgot. They paid all that money, I didn't even go. And so she was really perturbed, and I was scared. So, it was the last time. Signing day was coming to my last chance for it. Like, I get out of 8:50 on this, what, 4 or 5 questions from the 19 hours? Well, long story short, I didn't. So I didn't get that scholarship to UVA. And we didn't know what we were going to do, because signing day has passed. Signing day's passed, I can't go D1, I don't know where I want to go, I have to go somewhere. So, it's my fault, and she used some choice words. My dad doesn't trust me, ever.
Your mother doesn't need you.
Yeah, she doesn't need it. Never. And anyway, that's so I chose school Bridgeport. D3 school, I really actually didn't want to be there. And I had that kind of attitude, which you shouldn't have that attitude. I had the attitude, well, I'm better than this. I was supposed to be UVA, now I'm here. I mean, who are these people? Like, they're lucky they got me. Which, I was lucky to have them because I didn't have any other school to go to. We two, all state football, had no school to go to. Who does that? And my mom talked about Jesus and the Lord, and if I didn't have that, I don't know, and her and my parents, I don't know what I would have done because I was in such a funk. Like, how can I not be at a D1 school? So we passed there, and I still was doing things that I've been doing. We went to the national championship. We had a great team, national championship, lost by 3 to the #1 team in the country. We were on ESPN, all this stuff, and they worked hard, having fun. And my parents told me I always be a leader, not a follower. But at that time, I was following, and I got stuck, and I got in trouble. So I had to transfer to school. Where I'm gonna go? The next semester, I was transferred actually back to UVA because I had my grades up. But after that, they got one of that. Like, well, you don't want that. And again, telling you in the beginning, like I said, Oklahoma State came, Virginia State came, and I'm not going to Oklahoma State. But they will tell you, and as kids, as an adult, you never ever close doors. You never bring bridges because you never know where you will end up at. And thank God I ended up at Virginia State. Well, choice, but not choice. She's like, I gave you the opportunity to go where you want to go. But she did. And that was my decision. It's my turn. I gave you your opportunity and you didn't do right, so I don't care. You're going here. And at first it was, like, Virginia State, okay, school. What am I doing here again? And I learned to love it, actually. And I would never, take anything back from what I got. Because I got an education, I got a degree. And played football and baseball again. Became an All-American. And that gave me an opportunity at first we backtracked on that. With that said, I had to get, there's two choices in my house. If you want the Army, or you're going to graduate college. So they said, the only choice you have is you're going to the Army. Sorry, I love the Army. Buy food and take food, but it's not for me. I saw my dad. 5 o'clock in the morning PT, I'm good. Going to war? Nah, I'm alright. Thank you. Veterans Day was yesterday. I called my father on Veterans Day. Thank you for everything they've done for me, but that wasn't my cup of tea. I wasn't doing it. So I had to go to college, and it was fairly easy for me, but it wasn't. We had some tough times, some tough down the road, and my mother knows. She writes books, man. Florida. I didn't like writing papers. Anything else I'll do is papers. I didn't like it. I had to do it. So, I graduated from Virginia State with a 3-1. I ranked with a 3-1. And to get to the education part, I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I was in college. I didn't go in saying, okay, I'm going to be a teacher. I just know I wanted to coach and I love sports. Favorite subject was history and, of course, PE. And I was thinking, okay, I'm a musician major, but that's a lot of dates to remember. A lot of dates. And it's like, you try physical education, kinesiology, and we went into that. And then I did my practice and going for student teaching, I learned that I like helping people learn stuff. Knowing that I taught them that gave me a great feeling, especially if you're coaching, You teach a receiver how to run a route this way, and he doesn't gain the score of touchdown. There's nothing greater than that feeling. And it's the same as a teacher. And as superintendents and as principal, and teaching your teachers how to teach, or helping them out teaching as a teacher, teaching your students this problem, that problem, and get it right on the test. It's a fulfillment and enjoyment to yourself. So it wasn't because my mom was a teacher, and ironically it wasn't, but it just happened to be that way. So I decided education. Came teaching, and then these were another hurdles in our life that we had to go through. Situation came out with All-State, All-American in school my senior year. We had NFL teams come, and something happened with the Virginia State program where I didn't get out this summer. And I was like, Mom, what am I going to do? She's like, you have education, don't you? Yeah, it's still what I'm going to do. You have a degree, right? Yeah, that's still what I want to do. You have a degree, right? Yeah, okay, then use it. And I'm glad, because if I didn't have that, what would I have done? What would I have done? She didn't push me, my dad didn't push me, my grandmother didn't push me to get that. And I had to think about it. Thank you for that. So I became a teacher at Carnegie Woodson Middle School. At that time, AFL was there, that was another opportunity, and I'll tell you more about that. So AFL came in, and at that time, there were 2 levels. The one you see on TV now that I play for.
They're going to hear about that. They were praying for us in the meeting. No, I want you to say, because they want to hear about AFL. But we got the prayer by the Reverend. And they want to hear, those young men want to hear about AFL. So who is that?
That's about a moment's prayer. We tell God we truly thank you for blessing us in this day. We thank you, Lord, for everything that you do, God. Knowing that you, God, we can do nothing without you. God, we ask for a special blessing on this purpose and on this cause which you have brought before. Lord, you say in your word, suffer the children to come unto me, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And Father, we ask for a special blessing on this group of individuals right now. We ask you, God, that you would grasp them right now.
Yes.
Touch them in a mighty way, God. We ask that you give them the wisdom and the knowledge that they stand in need of, God. You said that there will not be one smaller than Solomon.
Yes.
Oh, God, we just ask for a portion of that wisdom and knowledge, God. We ask that you strengthen it right now, God. We ask that you bless the leaders, God. Bless the teachers, dear God. Let us be the role models, dear Father, that will set a change to come. Bless us for everything that you've done, God. Give us what we stand in need of. We thank you for this occasion. Father, we thank you for the present. We thank you for the past, God, and we're looking to the future. Bless us, God, in a mighty way. As we prepare to dine together, we ask that you bless that right now, God. Touch the food in a mighty way, God. We cooked it. You bless it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
They want to know why we okay, we come back to that. I don't want to add.
We want to hear about that voodoo. Come on, man.
They're eating. What you finish off when they're going to eat? Thank you.
But about there are two different levels. There are F2 and NFL, which you can compare it to, I guess, like baseball, Major League Baseball and minor league baseball. The exception with the NFL is that it's semi-pro, or is it the minor leagues or NFL numbers? It's a different league. It's called football, you paid. It's different leagues. It's AFL and NFL. Well, with that said, I was coming out of teaching. I was like, Mom, I will play. So I went to actually in Georgia, played in Georgia my first year, and then came back to teach again after the season because I was agree I had a contract. My mom said, do you really want to do this? And Mom, yes, I want to do this. You want to get to NFL? Yes, of course. I want to get to NFL. She went, okay, well, you can make a decision. We'll help you out. You took a leave of absence from teaching this semester, go to the beginning of the year and see what happens as well. As I said, I did. Played in New Orleans, and we didn't do so good, but I did the thing with my mom's stuff and Jesus stuff. I prepared a year, and I got an opportunity to go to the New Orleans Saints. And now for the game, but the New Orleans Saints, got cut, but I was thinking when we get to the league. Thank you. And this year, we're in Pittsburgh this year. I'm not going back to New Orleans. In Pittsburgh, well, actually our owner is Lynn Swamp, and we're part of the Pittsburgh facility, so we're under them. And with all my accolades and awards I got, there was always someone there to help me get them. It wasn't by myself. And the kids here and teachers here, they know you don't have to do it by yourself. You have you have parents, you have teachers, you have your superintendent. And also what they said, also the other message, if you want to do something else, I don't want to pay for it, that's fine. It let me travel the world. I got to see, live in 4 or 5 different states, and I've been back home and then I'm always home to visit, so I don't have children, and my sister. But, you can travel to the West Coast and down South Florida. You have great opportunities, but what happens if I break my leg? What happens if I don't learn my leg? And at least I have something to fall back on. I'm able to eat and support myself. And I have my mom do all the time. It's important. So education is a big deal. It's a real big deal. Also, don't make excuses for it. Against the NFL, I played twice. I didn't make excuses. It was what it was. I also played in NFL, so I'm glad for that. So don't make excuses for everything you have to go through. You can always overcome it with the Lord's help. And I know y'all want to eat, so that's why they get some questions. I want to ask about the data bill. What's the difference in all that again? Anyone? The good just want to eat, huh? Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, PJ. That's my baby. And I am mighty proud of him. I really am. Because what we have to learn, my Miss Alberta tells you must tell the truth. You don't help anybody by all that lying and covering up. Because there's someone out there that had the same situation you had, and what you see, you can't overcome. You can't overcome. But you have to have that love and support. But if you don't, everything is all peachy clean and ain't nothing ever happened, and it may not, I don't know. But then how do you save the person that did have a problem, that did have an issue? Because once they get there, they're like, okay, there's no help for me. So I tell my children, what you do, you accept the consequences for it. You think about it first, and see, I had to learn the hard way, then I Dr. Watson. Because if I was going to do it, Dr. Watson was in there preaching to me and begging and pleading, but if I was doing it, I'm going to do it. I said, he would tell me all the consequences. It doesn't matter, state department come down, Dr. Watson went. It was all over. And I had to suffer consequences, but it was a blessing for me. But what I'm saying is, think about what you're going to do first. Think about all of the ramifications, all the things that can happen. If you are willing to accept it, you go do it. Yeah, oh, I had a great attorney. I had an excellent attorney. I could have returned. Dr. Lewis is my attorney. I had great years. Thank you, Dr. Lewis. I did. So you have to, you hear from him later on, you have to accept responsibility. That's number one. Okay? One more. That's Sergeant First Class Magoli.
I'm going to make mine short. I'll let you get it. Dr. Berry asked me to talk to you about how I came in this direction. I breezed through middle school and high school. I got around my sophomore and junior year. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm going to go in the military. I joined in the delayed entry program in my junior year. I was signed up. I was leaving 2 weeks after I graduated high school. Then the mindset came in, well, I'm going in the military. I don't have to do too much. Kind of eased my way out of high school and went into the military 2 weeks after I graduated. I stayed in, that's why I'm just going to stay in for a little while. I don't know, something to try out. Well, 21 years later, at the ripe old age of 38, I retired. Now it was time for a second career. What am I going to do now? The government gives you some money when you retire from the military. If you want to live on bread and water, it's all right. If you want to survive, you need another job. When I was in, I had the opportunity to be an instructor on Fort Lee. Actually, I had a Navy leave. I was there for 5 years. And while there, it was just like PJ said, when you taught someone something and you can see them grasp it, and seeing them do it on their own, you get a sense of enjoyment out of it. You know, maybe I want to do a little teaching. Let me go see what that's all about. So through the military, they always have programs everywhere that you can use. They have one called Troops to Teachers. And they use it for when you get out and they want people that were in the military to become teachers. So I applied for it. And it happened to be after Brunswick County hired me as an ROTC instructor. When I applied for it, I got a letter back that said, congratulations, Mr. Rivoli, you've been accepted. Here's $10,000 to do what you want. You don't have to use it for school. This is yours. But within the next 3 years, you have to show that you are going to school and you are progressing to get a teaching degree. So I took it. I tell my students if they think their schedule's hectic, right now I'm working every day, all day, between color guards and things on the weekend we have to do. I go to school 3 nights a week. 2 nights I'm in there till 10 o'clock. So when they're in my class, when I see their heads bobbing, they don't see me going to sleep. So I think my schedule, and along with that, I had my house to maintain, my mom, and all of that, and I had a 7-year-old grandson that stays with me. So I lead a busy life. I didn't think it could be done, but with the help of my family and everyone else, and Dr. Berry and Dave Herman, you can do it. I graduated with my associate's degree. Spencer was there, many years ago, in the National Honor Society. Now I'm at ODU, and it's tougher. But now I'm looking at a TV screen, I kind of like interaction with the instructors and the teachers. But I'm still maintaining that 4.0, but it's not easy. There's an nights where I'm up till 12, 1 o'clock doing research, communications, and all that. But I know in the end, it's going to be worthwhile. I've been approved all the way through my master's, and my master's will be in career and technical leadership. So I think that's a field that we need to get passionate in. And I'm going to be able to oh, by the way, you're going to say it. You know what I've done, so I told that's not a problem. But what I want to leave you with is a quote by Thomas Arnold. And the quote is, real knowledge, like everything else of value, is not to be obtained easily. It must be worked for, studied for, thought for, and more than all, must be prayed for.
Thank you. Thank you. Senator Goldie, just my lifeline. 6 years ago, I became an adjunct professor at Virginia State University in Pittsburgh. And when we went to Brunswick, I was just coming back and forth to Pittsburgh. So Dr. Spencer said, we have teachers here that need certification and recertification, and you know, hard tell back to Pittsburgh. You want to go? That's it. You want to go back to Pittsburgh? We can make that happen. That's it. No, I don't want to go back to Pittsburgh. Well, you have people here you need to help, which was true. So Dr. Spencer signed an agreement with Virginia State to have a cohort that's right there in Brunswick County. You can get 32 hours, which is a master's in Brunswick County. I'm the person. Yeah. I need to learn right at the tech center. And some do and some don't, but almost everyone in here takes advantage of it. Ms. Burnett is almost through, Sergeant Gold is almost through, Ms. Maya is almost through. These people are taking advantage of those courses over there. Dr. Spencer said you gas, you just walk across the street, you just go around the corner. So that's a lesson within itself. And Sergeant Gold is about to get close to his master's degree. So he used all he does is give me a sheet of paper. It makes me so angry because, you know, school's like $924 and all he does is give me a sheet of paper. He said, I bled and suffered for this one. So, thank you so much. Now, any questions for these three guys? It's a seminar. Before we do the video, because I want to wait on this special class because I'm trying to answer just a little bit. I want to do the seminar. Any questions? I want you to introduce yourself. Just introduce yourself and tell me where you're from because I know we got a regular meeting. But before, also at the end, I'll do that. Okay, let's start that table over there. I think the St. Paul's table. Okay, there you go, baby.
Hello, my name is Darrell Johnson, and I'm a fourth-year senior at St. Paul's College. I graduate next year after my student teaching. So, yeah, I'm an education major, double major, special education, natural science with a minor in history.
All right.
Hello, my name is Daisy Henderson. I'm also a St. Paul student. My major is criminal justice with a minor in economics. I have a degree 7 current. And I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
How y'all doing today? My name is Clifford Thomas. I'm an English education major at St. Paul's College. Yes, and I'm getting ready to start my student teaching.
God is working in this building now, I'm telling you. Giving me what I asked for.
Hello, I'm Justin Washington. I'm currently a sophomore at St. Paul's College. I'm a grade 6 major, education major. So by endorsement, health and phys ed. Hopefully next semester I'll be going on Virginia State and majoring in phys ed and health and recreation.
You might say it's St. Paul right now.
Yeah, I'm from Jacksonville, Virginia.
I want them to have the chance I did.
And if I say, sing praise, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost,
Okay, was that not interesting? We brought that program to Brunswick County. That's not true, that's what I'm talking about. He brought the program. If you, Dr. Holmes, that's what I was talking about. If you, Dr. Lewis used to come to Petersburg. What happens is, in Brunswick County, they have a little bus. And the bus is shaped like, y'all remember that, don't you? Yeah. And so your dropout rate starts in 7th grade. If they remember 7th grade, we had an individual plan in 7th grade back then. So from 7th grade, they had a little bus that was shaped like a J. And so they had them to come in there. You remember that? And they had to sit in there. And all mine sat in there. Got a little trouble. But they can sit in there. Sit in there and see. You don't want to sit in there. So if you have an opportunity, they're from Virginia, the Medicaid Steward Project. Let your students or your programs bring that to the school. Okay, and we thank you for being so patient, but we were waiting for the grand finale. First of all, Mrs. Spencer, please stand. You know she wears that blue and white, she's still my Oh, I'm sorry. And her sidekick, Miss Prince. Spencer, we need your expertise. Yeah, I'll show you.
Well, I won't be very long, so that's my surprise. Everything has been said, so I would have said my life. So things have been done. All this stuff is true. And hopefully you've been able to capture this and will use it to your better opportunity. Let me just say this evening, thank you to Dr. Berry. Dr. Berry has a lot of wonderful things to say about me. I told her I don't know where she's getting it all from, but you know, my mom used to say all the time, people don't have to say anything good about you, too. And they don't have to give you anything. And those things kind of stood firm in my mind. I'm humbled to be here, part of this program this evening. Well, you know, it gets dark. I'm not sure this evening. It's dark, so we'll use this time wisely, but very briefly. I believe that it doesn't take a long time to say what you have to say if you're saying something. This is no disregard for Reverend Stewart. Did he leave? Any other ministers in the house? Because I'm about to make a statement. Maybe I won't make that statement. But to each of you who are here this afternoon, evening, I'm very pleased because I always like to take the opportunity if given to be able to say something that might be beneficial to those of us who need to hear it. Number one, those of us who may not have had an opportunity to really be a part of an occasion such as this. And I think this is very important. I grew up, and let me just say to Dr. Lewis, my friend, he was sitting beside me yesterday at Dr. Law's funeral. I think all of you know Dr. Law, former president of St. Paul's College and Virginia State University. And we were just chatting like we always do when we see each other. And so prior to leaving, I said to him, you know, I've got to go and try to go up and be with Dr. Berry tomorrow. I can't miss it. I've got to be there. He never said that he was coming to me. Sitting right next to me. Never made one. That's the kind of person you want when you confide in someone. Exactly. So I appreciate that. You kept that from me. And then I look up and he comes in and introduces me. That's amazing. Of all people. But I'm very pleased and thank you very much for your presence as well. Always. And of course, to my wife, as Dr. Berry mentioned, I could take the whole time of my little remarks to talk about her, as I always do. You know, we've been married for 43 years. Now, I know we don't look that old, but we've been married for 43 years. And, you know, you see me at this weight that I am now. When I was in college, I played football. Matter of fact, I went to college on a football scholarship. But actually, I had a band scholarship as well because I blew instruments as well. But back in those days, you know, it was kind of machoism. And while my mom and dad wanted me to be in the band because I was the only boy who had 4 sisters, they didn't want me to get hurt, right? But I excelled not only in the band, and had scholarships as well, but also in sports. But I happened to choose football because I had begun to get a lot of notoriety there. And so I wound up going to Prairie View. Could have gone to a number of other colleges, and was also a good student, by the way. I didn't take the SAT, but we had the ACT today, and I scored pretty high on that as well. But I met my wife, what was not my wife then, hopefully would become my wife. And let me make this, it's hard for me to make it short, but here I am, 265-pound offensive lineman in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, which they call the SWAC, right? Which consists of Grambling, Southern, Prairie View, which is where I went, Jackson State, and all those colleges that you hear about. And I was a good guy, quite frankly. She might not say so, but I was a good guy. You know, most athletes are wild and woolly. You know, they're kind of intimidating. And if you go to a black school, you know, we stood on the cafeteria steps. As the young ladies walk down the cafeteria wall, you know, you make cat calls, things like that, right? But, you know, I never did that. And that's amazing, I never did that. But the ironic thing was simply this. I didn't know her, but her homeboy, you know, we used to call them homeboys. It wasn't a game thing back then. It was just something we all said. That was kind of like vernacular, right? For us to use. So my homeboy, her homeboy, brother, we were having this big dance, which they called the Panther Ball. Everybody wanted to go to the Panther Ball, right? The purple and gold. And we had tuxedos, the whole 9 yards. So I didn't have anybody, you know, to take, right? But nobody knew that because I kind of blended in with everybody. And kind of everybody knew me and knew my nickname. I had a nickname, but I'm not going to say it here. I was known by my nickname on campus, which wasn't bad, but it just stood out. But the ironic thing there again was that I'm still trying to find somebody to take to the dance, right? I couldn't even dance, quite frankly. But I was always acting a clown, you know, when I got in those things, because it didn't take much to dance, you know. You grab a young lady and start doing whatever you want. But anyway, so I asked him, when we saw her, to tell her I wanted to take her to the dance, right? And she was cool, you know, kind of stood out by herself, quiet. So, to make a long story short, the day of the dance, I had my tuxedo, came in, like all of the athletes, because this was just an athletic function. In other words, you had to be a parent, meaning you had to be a part of one of the sports programs to go to this dance, right? But it was the biggest thing on campus. And back during that time, Prairie View was a large state college. Prairie View had about 5,000 or 6,000 students. Back, I don't want to tell you when I left, but it was in the 60s, late 60s, so that tells you where I'm coming from, right? I went over to the dormitory to pick her up in my tuxedo, clean. She never came down. After I asked her. She never came down. So the young ladies in the girls' dormitory was coming back and forth because they saw me out there. The other guys were picking up their date. And I'm still sitting there. An hour had gone by. And she never came down. So I think one of her friends, somebody came down and told her I was sitting down waiting on her. And I think it was at that time that she got ready. She was not even ready because she didn't believe that I was coming. And finally she came down after about 2 hours. And we went to the dance and became inseparable ever since. Now, we didn't get married until after we graduated. I want you to know that. Because I left first, I had an opportunity to go to the Atlanta Falcons back in the day. And my wife had not graduated. So it was only when she graduated a year later that we got married in August of 1969. You can count the year. You can count the year. August 1969. What's that, 43? 42. And 43 is next year. So we have been together. That's what we do. We don't drink, we don't smoke. Never have. I want you to know that. Now, I'm not trying to report, tell everybody what to do or what not to do. But never have. We had some rowdy folks back during the day. You know, we did everything. Run a little yellow wine and all that kind of stuff. But that never appealed to me as an athlete, as a person. I didn't grow up in that environment, and so I never was exposed to that. But let me tell you how I did grow up. You need to know this. Grew up in a little small town, I call it a country town, where my parents, we didn't know we were poor, but we weren't. But we always had plenty to eat because we raised hogs, had cattle, had chickens, turkeys. So when we wanted something to eat, all our parents had to do was go out and kill a hog. We had hog killings. You ever heard of that? Where people in the neighborhood came around when you were killing hogs, right? And so we had plenty of food, bacon, sausage, pork chops, all that good stuff. But let me regress for a minute. I lost 100 pounds, by the way, when I was going with my wife. 100 pounds, 100 pounds. So I went from 260 pounds to whatever that is, 160. Playing offensive line in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And that's amazing. People thought I was sick. Matter of fact, the coach told me, he said to me, son, he said, I'm going to take your scholarship because you can't play like that. What is wrong with you? Well, I was in love. I was in love. I couldn't even eat. Let me tell you what, I couldn't eat. You know you're in love when you can't eat. My mama was frying chicken, peach cobbler, all that stuff you like to eat. Well, I would normally eat that stuff, right? They couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't eat anything. And so, 43 years later, I still feel the same. I got a little wise. But we were poor. We had to pick cotton up in this part of the country. Being in Texas, we had cotton. We didn't have tobacco. Not like you have in North Carolina and Virginia. We picked cotton. And we had to pick cotton where it took 2 days to pick one row because the rows were so long. And it's hot in Texas, baby. It's hot in Texas. And we had to put 2 sacks together to make the weight that we wanted to make enough money because you wasn't getting any money, 25 and 30 cents, for 100 pounds and all that kind of stuff. And, we picked it and pulled it. You see, picking is taking the cotton out of the bowl, right? Taking it out of the bowl. You know, I know some of you do, but most of you young folks don't know that. And pulling it means you take the whole plant, you take the whole thing. And I like to pull the bowls off because it weighed heavier, you know, as you were doing. And you start singing, you know, you got good at it. You start making the sack pop. You can do it both hands, you know, on your knees, crawling. But it makes you who you are. You see, you don't just arbitrarily get up to drive a BMW, if that's what you want to drive, a Hummer or whatever you want to drive, by osmosis. It doesn't happen that way. You got to come from somewhere in order to get to where you need to go. And you still are going to have trials and tribulations. You still are going to have challenges. And many times when people arrive, so to speak, that they think, black folk have arrived. I'm going to tell you that right now. And you ought to be able to see that because of the President of the United States, who's one of the smartest men that I know. And you see what they do to him, so you know what they do to us, right, and do to you. You follow? They want to take you down regardless. Now, we can't go around hating folk, and I'm not reporting that. But I'm saying don't ever be defined by what others think you ought to be or ought not to be. Don't ever let anybody do that to you, because what happens, they can control you. And when people control you, guess what? Then you almost belong to them. So you can ill afford to let those things happen. Now, you know, as superintendent and chair of the board of St. Paul's College, I know you're not used to hearing folk talk like this, because you want me to get up and talk about Aristotle and Plato, Socrates, and all that stuff, right? Yeah, I'm a pretty bright guy, you know. I know this is a bright man. I know that. But we got to get down and talk about the reality of what life is about. We can afford to fool folks. You see, life is not about playing jokes on folk. You see enough of that on television. You know, when you get shot on television, when the camera leaves you, you can get back up. But when you get shot out here on these streets, wherever you are, you might not get back up. And so those are the things that our young folk need to understand, that just as the video indicated, education is the key. And you need to grow. You can have 9 PhDs and 10 law degrees. But if you don't apply it, and you don't understand what it takes to get it, you will become victimized in your own being. And life is about going forward. Because when you cease to move forward, guess what? You get stagnated or you die. When you cease to grow and not being watered through the education that you need to get, you're just like walking around dead, because that's what you become. And so the truth of the matter becomes then is we must tell the truth. It's never wrong to do what's right. It's never wrong to do what's right. And as long as you have breath in your body, young folk, don't let the influence of those who say that it's unpopular to be smart take you down to the level that they want to drag you down. Because we see it all the time. We see young folk being influenced, and adults as well. You don't need to be a part of a certain group. Be who you are. You see, you are just as important as anyone else. You're not better, but you're certainly not worse. And as long as you see yourself in a manner that feels good about who you are, then and only then can you sustain yourself as a human being. And it doesn't matter what age you are. And someone spoke earlier that, you know, the prisons are built based upon third grade reading scores. My whole idea is that instead of building prisons, we need to be building libraries. Because that's what it takes in order to expand your knowledge and expand your ideology and expand and enhance you as young people. That's the idea that we need. We don't need prisons. That's why many times businessmen look at how they can make money. You follow me? They make money off of building prisons, and they know who's going to fill the prison. Because they know that our young folks don't want to learn, many of them. They don't want to be respectful. They want to be who they are and profile based upon detriment to them as young folk. And the minute you get hooked up with the law, let me tell you what, it's on your record. It is on your record. If you're a juvenile defender, it is on your record. And don't get to be 18, because if you commit a felony, guess what? It's there. It's there. And I would imagine, not having the statistics on this fact, that to get that expunged is almost null and void. So your record has been damaged. And the other thing is, don't buy more than you can pay for. You see, you want all these things, then you get in debt. And then your credit gets bad. You can't be a homeowner. You can't do any of those things. And if you pay your bills late, guess what? It goes on your record. And one of the travesties on college campuses today, among others, is they used to have all these credit card vendors coming to the career fairs. You know, making it easy for kids to get these credit cards. Some of them get them for, I think they start out with $500. So you spend that up, you can't pay it back, and then that's on your record. So the warning signals become very, very dastardly and dangerous when we fail to educate our young folk about all of these travesties and all of these different elements that come at you. And it's left up to us when we are in leadership, when we're in any kind of position that we can spread these messages, we ought to do this. That's one of the missions that we as an adult have and should deploy. So our challenge today as I close, there was so much more I wanted to talk about. But I'm going to conclude my remarks because many of the things that I would have said have already been articulated. And I want you to understand three things, if you don't hear anything else I say. And all of them begin with a C. If you know anything about diamonds, diamonds are the finest jewels that one can have. Now, I don't have any. All the ones I wear are fake. So don't try to rob me because you won't get very much. But diamonds, they say, are a woman's best friend. Right? That's what they say. If you are going to be a diamond in life, the challenge becomes these. You must have clarity, meaning that you can identify the elements of who you are and what you are about and what you will become. You must have cut, meaning that the cut that's demonstrated has to go beyond the ordinary to the extraordinary. And you must have the color, because the color makes the difference. And if your color, regardless of what it is, in this case, who you are here this evening, will get you to the next level because of your innate ability and all of the qualities that stand for success, stands for righteousness, stands for the ideals of the society in which you live. Then and only then will you be able to stand up and face the challenges that will be before you. So stand tall. Keep your shoulders broad. Don't ever look down because you can't see where you're going. Always point your head straight forward. And in the end, as the scripture says, you will have fought a good fight. You will have kept the faith. And you will finish the course. Go forward.
You could have stood like you saved us, Mrs. Spencer. Spencer, stand again because I don't know if reason that make you lose any weight. I don't think you losing something there. Colonel Barry just walked in. Colonel Barry. And he's like, he doesn't say anything, well, not in public, but he supported this program. Appreciated Colonel Barry, and we're really proud of you. Colonel Barry is brigade commander here at Fort Lee. We're proud of you. He's an excellent father, and anybody that's put up with me at any time, don't come at you. But Dr. Spencer, they would tell you, I talk about, that's what they were laughing about, my girlfriends back there, I talk about you all the time, and they are jealous. They're jealous. But now you see, rightly so, because this is what we get in faculty meeting. Reese, what's the name of that chapter? Chapter 3 of my book about the superintendent? But I can tell you that it's called, it's all up to the soup. And he knows about that because he was editing. But I want to say to you, I love you, I thank you for everything. And you've truly been a blessing to me and my family. Truly. And I will never ever forget that. And thank you so much for enabling me to grow, giving me room to grow. And I know I haven't stopped there, and I appreciate it. For me and the group, now, they say the team, this is the team, just the three of us, so can't pay nobody. And these are ride or die chicks here because they've been here all night long doing this. Ms. Barnum, thank you. When I became principal at Westview in 98, I believe, 98, I hired these two ladies. During that time, and I think Dr. Lewis remember, I had two secretaries I was assistant principal there too. The two secretaries didn't like me and I didn't like them. So when I became principal there, I said, that's my parent, and I said to the superintendent at the time who didn't like me either, said, I don't want these two secretaries. Ms. Berry, you can have two secretaries. You only have one. I said, no, I'm going to tell you right now, if they stay with me, that's not going to be pretty. Because they can't stay with me. And that's the first time I don't even remember hiring two secretaries at the same time. They said, please let us go, just let us leave. So I was able to hire two secretaries at the same time, and they've been with me ever since. Please. We can never ever, and I know I can't repay you for the things you have done, and I know this is a small token of what and who you are, and you have an excellent partner. Mrs. Spencer is awesome. She is a great supporter of yours and of that school system. She's #1. I will remember when something after school board, and they were asking some questions. And usually I have never seen this he's my 11th superintendent, so I have never seen this before. So we do the walk, what we do is called safety, walk and ride the bicycle safety in school. We do that in Ruffin County. It was on a whole month. So the board was asking about it. Usually the principal or someone else gets up and say whatever they have to say. But lo and behold, the superintendent's wife got up and told him exactly what the program is, and means so elegantly, and then everybody was like, oh, wow, you know, because you don't see the superintendent's wife, it's a program that I brought here to support my husband pretty much. So she's awesome like that. Would you like to say 1 or 2 words, please, Mrs. Spencer? Come on up with her.
I'll just speak for back here. Dr. Berry is like my sister. I really am blessed to have her around. Actually, we met before she met Dr. Spencer. I met her, she was walking in, of course, busy as she is, like she always is, in the office, and she sat down, and I happened to be there that particular day. And so I looked around and I said, well, who is this lady? You know, of course, I'm real nosy and I'm always asking them questions. And they said, oh, she's interviewing for a job here. And it's just like we had a connecting tie at that particular moment. So I really have known her longer than my husband has known her. So we are really sisters in the soul. And I appreciate you for all that you're doing, because our young men need this. Our young men need someone to let them know that we do care about them, their lives, and them not being incarcerated. We want them to be lifelong learners that can provide to society and become contributing citizens in America. Thank you. My husband and his speech, of course, about me, I won't go into the details, but I'm gonna let you go home. But that evening that he came to pick me up, no, I was not ready. But he was a jock, and I really never liked jocks. And so I was not really expecting him to show up. He's right. But my sisters in blood, in the dormitory, of course, pulled me together, and I think I looked pretty good once they had given me a dress and fixed my hair and all that. That's why it took 2 hours.
My wife is a retired administrator as well. We also went to university. After I did, a few years ago, we couldn't afford to go together when you were in graduate school like that. But at any rate, she has always supported me, and she's so involved in Brunswick County, you just wouldn't believe it. And that's not bragging about it, but I worked with superintendents over the years, and I've never seen anyone. She gets up going someplace in the schools and the community every morning. Doesn't have to, but she does. Every day of the year, this lady goes in and out of the schools, methods. We have a 1st and 10th program, which is good all right. St. Paul is one of them, and high school, young people as well. So, I mean, and I have to say that publicly, because it's not bragging, it's a fact. Matter of fact, I said there, I said, why are you getting up going when I go? I said, why would you do that? But she's the type of lady that cannot just stay at home and keep the house. She's not like that. Matter of fact, if you want to fight, you tell her to stay there. She's not going to do it. She's got to be out doing it. So she's done so much. We have big awards program. Last year, Dr. Berry was there. Just exorbitant number of people in the community came out. And so I want to commend her and applaud her because of what she does. Because she doesn't have to do it. She doesn't get paid. She doesn't get paid. She spends more money now than she did when she was working. You know, and I don't make that kind of money. You know, so in other words, I want to thank her because I want everybody to do it.
I just have to say that I want to thank my mentors, because we couldn't do it without them. Daisy, many of the young people that are here are ones that work with us in order to make sure that 1st and 10 does evolve and continue on. So I want to thank them. Thank you.
And his sister was special, but just moving us. Yeah, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, they wrap this stuff up. They put all this big paper, all this big paper in here, and you can't get to it. Oh, man, isn't that something? Goes with what I got on here. Isn't that something? I'm gonna keep this. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Very good.
Dr. Lewis, any last minutes? And thank you. You are a great friend, confidant. So he didn't know that, but
I'm going to wear my tie. It's been a pleasure. There's nothing that I can say to top of this man just said. While he was talking, I kept looking at the sign right here. It says hiring and retaining African American males, obviously for teachers. Being a teacher has got to be one of the most rewarding experiences there could ever be. I work at Fort Lee. I teach military officers, Department of the Army civilians, and international officers. And every now and then, even at that level, I get an email or I get a telephone call where somebody says, "You taught me statistics." This is like, "Thank you, Dr. Lewis, for teaching me something that I can use." And that thank you, that recognition, believe you me, that recognition is worth more than the paycheck that I get every other Thursday, which isn't bad, but that thank you is just so much more, because even if that paycheck were not there, the fact that somebody has acknowledged that you did something more than and gave back to them is priceless. And so this gentleman here is priceless, this young lady is priceless, these two young ladies are priceless. Go into the field of education.
yes.
It will do so much for you. For one thing, it makes you very comfortable standing up in front of a pulpit. And you're very knowledgeable. And you will be sought after because you will transcend beyond just teaching. And you will become quite the philosopher. Where's the philosophy person? Somebody was sitting over there.
Oh,
you are going to become the philosopher that you want to be. But if ever you can do anything in life, thank a teacher. And there's one more thing, and then I'll sit down. You know, there is that saying that says, those who can do, and those who can't teach. You heard that. Well, that's a misnomer. That's an incorrect statement, because they were taking a test and they had to write something, and so they wrote that one. But what they really meant to say was, those who can teach, so that those who do can. And there you are.
So anybody would like to say some summaries, last minute anything? Mr. Berry, what did you get the seminar? Oh, Mr. Berry Jr., what did you get out the seminar on?
I actually just seen all the young people from St. Paul's and Elizabeth City and various colleges. They come out surprised to see them here. And I thought the seminar was going to be for the middle school and high school students. So thank you all for coming to Virginia State, alma mater too. Thank you for coming. And this is Dr. Spencer speak. I never heard him speak before. It was very high.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? See, yes, do what I say, so come
I'm glad to be here because I wanted to bring my guys some guys that some of them haven't been exposed to much beyond just Brunswick County. And being from Jersey and being that I played in college and got the exposure to play and go to California, and I've been in Texas playing, and Michigan, and all over the place. My goal was to get my players and my students beyond the vision to know that it's more out there than just, what you see beyond the tobacco fields and cotton fields of Brunswick County and Mecklenburg County, and get them out and get them exposed. So I'm happy to see college guys here, women here, guys that's doing it, already did it, and trying to do better. So I'm happy to be here.
Jackie, stand up.
Yes.
But you're so beautiful, don't you want to stand?
Of course I'm not a male, but I am a college student, and I just wanted to say to the young people that are going to high school or that are entering to college that you should take your education very seriously, and that's going to further you in life. And if you're entering to the high school, this is where it begins, because you start in high school, those grades that you receive now help you to get into college. And when you're in college, those grades that you receive help you to be who the person you are later in life. So just take it seriously. And it's not that you can't have fun and do what you want to do. You just have to have time management, keep yourself grounded, and then you can achieve whatever you want to do.
Well, you certainly do for young lady. Okay, grown ones, 120. Let me say thank you on behalf of hiring and retaining African American males. And it just did my heart such great joy to hear so many of you all are going to be teachers in the near future and or thinking about being teachers. So again, I want to say thank God, my friends, thank you for, and thank you all for coming a long way and practice some things for bringing the bus. Thank you for that bus. How awesome. Yes, sir. You ask the colonel. And good night. Good night.